Yeah, he's back again. Alright, howdy. It's been a while. After a couple of Dr. Peppers, I decided I'm gonna start uploading to YouTube again, so that's a win. Now, today's video is gonna be a fun one. Let me explain the concept. Have you ever just been chilling, and you're like, I feel like I'm being watched, but I don't know where it's coming from? Well, that phenomenon, or that fear, is called scopophobia. It's a scary sounding word. I played a Minecraft mod that had this scopophobia dude. He's pretty freaky. So yeah, I'm gonna make a little Roblox game based off of that because why not? So yeah, before the video gets started, I just want to say I'm not exactly sure if I'd classify this as a tutorial, but who cares? Maybe you'll learn something anyway. Anyway, enough stalling. Time to make this garbage game. My leg is so itchy. Anyway, I want the game to take place in like a weird forest. And in that forest, you'll hear weird sounds around you and you might see things. You'll feel like something's watching you from a distance. So I'm gonna build that forest. Luckily, that's pretty easy since this isn't gonna be a very high quality forest. I just added a part to the base plate and made it a grass texture, made it a dark green, and now we need to add trees because this is a plain, not a forest. After like 2 seconds of looking, I found these two meshes. Well, not meshes, but models. I'm not exactly sure which one to pick. This one looks pretty cool. This one's kind of translucent. I think I'm gonna go for this one. This one has a nice look to it. Now, I just have to manually duplicate, scale, and rotate like 100 of these to make a forest, is what I'd say if I was a loser. I actually know a better way to do this. So I don't want to make all the trees huge, so I added like a little dude for size reference. And I have my tree. There's a neat plugin called Brush Tool that you can use. Where is it? There it is. You can just click the start, and you can import whatever your model is, change a few settings. So now I can, whoa. Okay. Well, that runs very well. So I think I see a reason why using these trees might be a bad idea. I'm gonna use the other ones. Thank God for the simple tree. I'm sorry I talked about your transparency. So yeah, this tree, when put into the brush tool thingy, runs a lot better. You could just wham. Now you have a forest. Granted, this forest is very laggy. You don't really need it like this. You could just turn the spacing up so there's less trees in that radius. Then you can just spawn your forest. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but yeah, maybe I forgot how to make YouTube videos. But here we go. Terrible forest. Now, you can't have a horror game and have it be daytime because daytime, not scary. Wham. Now it's night. But this still isn't scary. It's actually kind of pretty. The moon is overrated. So are the stars. You don't need any of that. You could just have the void. Then, just like every good horror game does, just crank the density of the atmosphere all the way up so you can barely see anything. And then for the fun of it, turn the brightness down so everything is super dark. Add that one flashlight from the toolbox like every old horror game has. Change the light to be some kind of like orange because white flashlight boring. Oh, and enable shadows because shadows make everything look better, I think. And then just change the game. Let's make it R6 so the flashlight doesn't bounce around with our animation. You can still kind of see, so let's fix that. Good old color correction value always fixes good visibility. Just crank that saturation way up. And for the fun of it, we're going to turn the saturation down. Wait, no, we crank the brightness, the contrast. Basically, after a couple tweaks, you can't see anything. You have the prime Helen Keller experience. So, yeah. Welcome to the game. Also, why am I still R15? There we go, no more jiggly flashlight. And this looks terrible. Perfect. Jokes aside, don't do this for your horror games. I like being able to see. Let me give it a little bit of brightness. Crank the saturation up. Yeah, this works. You can turn the atmosphere up if you want lower visibility. I'm gonna make the flashlight a bit stronger because in its current state, the flashlight's pretty useless. We'll turn the angle down and turn the brightness and range up. I feel like that's too much brightness for a flashlight actually. Let's see if I stand corrected. It's perfect. Now we have to add our scopophobia spookiness. Now inside of replicated storage, I added a folder with a couple sounds. Well, actually 3 sounds, not a couple. But yeah, each of these sounds are like grass step sounds, so it's Oh, I just realized you can't hear these sounds. Let me just... There we go. So imagine you'll be in the forest and you'll hear these steps around you, adding to that feeling that you're being watched. For the sake of simplicity, and because I might actually add like some kind of screen effect, I'm just going to put the local script for handling these sounds in the starter GUI, and I'm going to name it Scope Handler, because I don't want to type Scopophobia. So, after some simple programming, I have this as a result. Uh-oh. Now, it's really simple, but it's kind of freaky, you know, a random sound from a random direction. I'll explain how I did it real quick. Basically, I just have a simple script which has a while true loop, except instead of putting true, I just have it wait a random amount of time between 10 and 30 seconds. At the top here, I have a folder with all the sounds, and right here, it creates a part, and it'll put that part at a random position around the player, using humanoid root part position.x plus negative 200 studs, and the same for position z. You don't do position y because position y is up and down. I don't want the sound to be under or above the player. Then here, it will just clone a random sound from that folder up here, put it inside the part, play it, wait 5 seconds, and destroy it. It's very simple. I'll zoom out in case you want to like take this code. But yeah, simple, weird Scopophobia sounds done. Now I'm gonna use the same part that gets created to spawn some kind of freaky looking monster. I'm just gonna make test.wait be 3 seconds, or maybe even just 1. And then I made this little guy named Thingus, which is basically just a floating head with a weird creepy face I found online. And he's gonna appear out in the woods facing the player. So let's make that happen. Now we banish Thingus to replicated storage where he will remain for the rest of his days. Now I did this part off screen as well, and I switched it from like that humanoid model to beam so it can always face the player. And it also gives it that creepy like floating face transparent look. So yeah, we're gonna use this instead. It's literally just 3 parts. 2 parts which are the beam with like the texture. And then the middle part is just like, it's named yes, but it's the primary part of this group. So I can, well this model, so I can just move the primary part C frame. After some not very thorough testing, I've come up with this, which will create a face that floats around the player's head height. I removed the trees and the fog to make it easier to see the face, but yeah, it can just kind of spawn anywhere now. And since it's a beam, it's always facing the player. It's not really there very long, so you can, well it's okay, it's kind of there for a while, but yeah, we'll fix that with the script. It's kind of creepy, so if I go and stop the testing, I'm gonna make it so he doesn't collide at all. So Trump can't collide. And let me think. Let's alter the amount of time. So anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, and he'll stay for about math.random. Anywhere from 1 to, I don't know, 10. So what I changed was I replaced Thingus with the like scary face model. Then I just set the primary part to be anchored. I set the primary part C frame to the sound part. And then inside of the sound part position, I changed the humanoid root part.y to be 2 studs higher than it was before, which is how it's head level with the player. And really, it's that simple. And now there's kind of a scary Scopophobia that will just kind of spawn somewhere in the woods looking at you. And for the sake of spooky, I'll probably make it so it can only exist for a max of 4 seconds or 3. And I'm gonna lower this just so you can see it actually. Back to 1, and I'll make the maximum position 70 by 70. And let's see if our scary face guy works. No, I heard him. Well, he definitely works. He's a little bizarre. Yeah, he's definitely watching you from the woods. You can see him for like a split second. That's oddly terrifying. I'm gonna get out of this now. But yeah, it's a pretty terrible low quality version of Scopophobia built inside of Roblox. I'm sure there's potential with this, a lot could be added. You could easily change the system to make it scarier. So, he's right there. If you enjoyed today's video, like. If you didn't enjoy, dislike, leave a hate comment. Yeah, he's back again. Alright, see you guys on the flip side. Have a good day. Bye-bye.